There is no God in that church. If anything, that's the devil's church. Emerging details are indicating that this Pastor Moi and this Jesus Winner Ministries are sitting on government land, public land, owned by the Kenyan Defense Forces. But Ruto, through his proxies, who is that pastor, stole that land and gave it to the church. This same church is receiving 120 million, $1 million from our taxes by the president for building that church. And now you're coming to my comment section saying, oh, I'm getting between the work of God. There is no way people could be suffering in this country, yet opulence is being shown at your pulpit. You're graciously receiving that money when people are suffering, dying in hospitals, in queues, because the system of SHA is not working. And you're here saying, oh, don't come between the work of God and... What? Are you crazy or what? This has nothing to do with God. In fact, I think the devil you worship at that church. There is no way that money will do anything in that church. And if anything, you're going to occupy that church, and you must return public money to public coffers, and the public resources must be used for the right purposes. And even if you do not return that money right now, we will occupy that church. Even if it's 10 years from today, that money must return to the public. That land must be returned to the public. Whatever the case, it doesn't matter if you have connections to the president. He'll not be there forever. He'll not dictate everything that we do in this country.
Hallelujah. Hosanna. Hallelujah. Hosanna.
Tumesema harambee, si ndio? Okay, continue.
Sawa, Jesus winner.
Jesus winner,
Na hiyo harambee. Nataka mnisikize vizuri.
Tunasikia.
Nataka mnisikize vizuri.
Tunakusikia.
Na kwa hiyo harambee. Vile huyu Korori amesema. Huyu Korori alisema.
Korori namjua huyu wa Kiambu huyo nani? Sema.
Alisema hapa. Iwekwe polling station hapa. Ndio watu msichanganywe na watu wengine, ijulikane nani amesimama wapi.
Okay. Continue.
Ya kanisa.
Hata
mimi nataka nipatiwe polling station yangu. Niende nipangane na marafiki zangu. Nasikia Bishop. Niende nipangane mimi na marafiki zangu. Tutafute milioni 100.
Okay. Ni sawa, ulichaguliwa kujenga milioni 100 ya kanisa. Endelea, continue. Fika kwa point haraka, nataka kuanalyze. Simshangilia haraka, nataka kusema.
Yes, good evening Kenyans. Yaani leo President William Ruto ameenda kwa kanisa hapa Roysambu kwa Pastor Moi. Na kuna kanisa Pastor Moi anajenga hapo. Na ametoa 20 million. Huu 20 million. Unajua 20 million inaweza jenga shule 10. Pale upande wa Turkana. 20 million inapewa kanisa. Imagine, I think in this Kenya kuna watu wanatuuza vibaya sana. Washirika wa hizi makanisa, these pastors, audio wamekuwa wakituuza. Na that is why corruption will always continue. Na kila kitu mutakuwa mnakatwa tax inapelekwa kwa mfuko ya mtu mmoja. Sababu hatutumiangi akili kuchaguana. Kazi yetu ni tukienda pale tunaambiwa na mapasta tufanye hivi, tunaambiwa sijui mnapewa shilingi 100 mnachagua watu.
President William Samoei Ruto umetoka Baringo jana ukapata there is a school with no classrooms. Watoto maskini wanasomea chini ya miti, wanakalia mawe. Maskini walimu wetu hawana staff room. Vile wanakaa chini ya mti ndio staff room yao. Ukienda klasi zingine inalazimika walimu 2 ama 3 kufunza groups tofauti kwa one building. Alafu leo unaenda Jesus Wina Roysambo unapatia a billionaire pastor wa Jesus Wina 20 million. That's a mockery to the people of Baringo. That's a mockery to the people of Kenya, and we are watching. Ile pesa yenyewe ni pesa imelaaniwa hiyo. Nani alifaa kusaidiwa? Ni Jesus Wina Ministry ya tajiri mmoja bilionea, ama ni wale watoto wanateseka huko Baringo? President, watch this. Wakenya tunaona na pasta kama ni mjanja anafaa refund hiyo pesa mara moja.
So yesterday, President William Ruto was at a church service in, where was this? I forget, it's within Nairobi.
It's because he's always at a church service. I can't blame him. He could be anywhere.
It's within Nairobi. And he, one of the things that caught people's attention was that he made a donation at this church service. He said, I'm making a personal contribution of 20 million shillings. I know that the military had an issue with this particular parcel of land where this church is located. And now the military has said, we are no longer claiming this land. So the church can now go ahead and start and put up a facility. What we are going to do is, once you guys are ready, we're going to run and organize a Harambee. And in this Harambee, between now and the time for the Harambee, I'm going to, shikashika myself, nijiangalie kwa mfuko, naita marafiki, tuongeleshane, then I will come here for that Harambee with 100 million shillings on top of the 20 million that I'm pledging right now, today. Okay? That's a contribution of 120 million shillings towards this particular church. Now, of course, people are like, listen, what is it? The congregation in the church was very, very happy. They stood up and, they were all cheering. People on social media were not happy. And they went back into last year, July, when the president was speaking to the nation and saying, after the conversations that we've had as a republic, and what the people have said, there are some things that we need to change. We are going to change a couple of things. We are going to look at how we are financing our public offices. We are going to reduce the number of advisors that we have. We are also going to make sure that now, just to address this issue of opulence and all, state officers and public officers will no longer participate in donations or harambees. Just look at what the president said in July last year.
Or public servant shall participate in public contributions or harambees going forward. The Attorney General is hereby directed to prepare and submit legislation to this effect and develop a mechanism for structured and transparent contributions for public, charitable, and philanthropic purposes.
Bishop, katika ujenzi wa kanisa letu hapa, mbali na mbali na ile yote tumesema, mbali na kupatiana title deed, mbali na kusema wanajeshi wasimame kando, mbali na kutengeneza barabara, si ndio? Mimi mwenyewe nitatoa milioni 20 kwanza. Nitaanza kupanga hiyo maneno wakati unasemekana mnajenga. Alafu mimi nimekubali pia nitakuja tufanye harambe pamoja.
So this was in Roysambu yesterday, all right, where he pledged 100 million shillings for the construction of the Jesus Winner Church.
Am I a miser? I just genuinely asking because I don't see how I could ever donate 20 times my monthly salary. Am I the problem? Am I a selfish person?
Like you are you putting yourself as a congregation? Oh, as Mariam.
As Mariam. Like, I'm passionate about many causes. I love to give. I don't know in what way I would be able to give 20 times what I make in a month. I was just looking at the numbers. The president's basic monthly salary is 1.4 million. Basic salary is 866,000 plus housing allowance plus salary market adjustment. Anyway, it comes to about 1.4. Then you take away taxes. You get where I'm going with this. He's a businessman, many ventures. Still, I don't know.
20 million. Just ask. If that's what you want to
let me just ask. Okay, where are we getting 20 million shillings to donate? Who can donate 20 times their monthly salary?
Yeah.
Who can in one go and pledge another 100? Okay, yes. Pledge 20 plus 100.
And remember, I always go to help. The first place my mind goes to is all the places that need that. Not to take away from, we know tithing and giving to churches to grow them. It's something that I think is important, but it's also something that has just become so divisive, right? I know there was a time when church leaders were quite adamant about, they were just saying, we're going to return the money because we're making a statement that we do believe you need to be able to focus on the priorities on your docket that you're not prioritizing. Right. You're not focusing on issues in the country. So I don't know. It doesn't sit well then. Yesterday.
I'm still there. What percentage of your monthly salary would you be comfortable giving to a cause you support? Eric?
First of all, if he's tithing and it's 20 M, if it was, that means
maybe it's his combined income.
Yeah, sure.
If his combined income is more than this, it's fine. I mean, he has a salary, yes. He has all these other business interests, and all of them are bringing in an income. So his combined income, if he can afford to give 20 million shillings, it's fine. For me, my problem is the principle of what he has done, vis-a-vis what he said last year. That let the Attorney General come up with a mechanism of where, if it is, for philanthropic purposes, how should state officers and public officers behave? Here we are. Do we have those guidelines of how this is going to be done? He appears to be pushing back, and his message here is clearly because the evangelical churches and then the other mainstream churches are at loggerheads. We've seen the Anglican Church, the Catholic Church, the PCEA, and the others saying no. But then we are seeing these other churches, like where he went yesterday, the Revival Church, saying, well, we'll accept. And he's done that more than once. He has even said, I am a product of giving. I know what giving is, and therefore I shall continue giving. I am giving to church because I'm a Christian, and I believe in the power of giving. All well and good, Mr. President, but you said state officers and public officers should not give donations and participate in harambes unless there's a clear guideline. So the question is, Mr. President, is there such a clear guideline today, developed after your directive on the 5th of July last year? Because it was an order. I direct the Attorney General to come up with a clear guideline on how we shall behave in the public going forward. I don't know whether there's been any.